This is video 3 on how to lay ceramic floor tiles. In this video I'm going to show you how to mix grout, how to apply the grout and how to finish the job off to make it look like a professional finish. The tools and materials that you need in grouting are grout of course, some water in the bucket, sponge and a grout float. Obviously we need some safety equipment, in this case again the safety goggles, knee pads, dust mask, gloves and earplugs as well. The floor tiles have been laid and we've allowed those to dry overnight. Approximately about 24 hours is ideal for the tiles to dry. We can now stand on them, but we need to actually sweep the dust off to ensure that the next phase, which is grouting, adheres really well to the side of the tiles. Mixing the grout requires us to have it not too dry nor too wet. It needs to be very much like toothpaste. Ideally what we need to do is put the water into the bucket first and then add the powder. We'll be using a grout float, which is this instrument here, and while we're using this, the best approach to take it is to apply it on a diagonal, like so. Once we're putting the grout in, if we tend to go like this, the edge of the grout float will actually bump up against the edge of the tile and pour the grout out. So it's very important we actually go on the diagonal. As well as our grout float, we also have a scraper as well. This is very convenient for taking out the grout and putting it onto the floor, like so. And we also have another bucket here standing by with clean, fresh water. And we've actually got a couple of sponges in there, and that's going to help us remove the excess grout from the tiles. Okay, let's begin. We use a back and forward motion, like so, always on the diagonal. We now use the sponge to take off the excess amount of grout. So we go once, turn the sponge over, twice. Now we use the other side of the sponge. There's 3 times, and we also get another one on the 4th go. And now we rinse the sponge out. If we don't rinse out the sponge, what will happen is it will just drag around the excess grout and make a mess. This time, we take as much water as we can out of the sponge, so we have it as dry as possible, and then just to finish off the grout lines, we apply the grout sponge very lightly across the tiles, just to level them out and to make sure it's all nice and smooth. Okay, we've finished the grouting and now we'll be applying the door trim. In this particular case, we're applying an L-shaped metal trim to protect the edge of the tiles from chipping. And in this case, we're actually going to glue this down onto the tiles using the appropriate glue. So we're actually just going to apply a very thin bead of glue to the surface of the trim. With this particular glue, we apply on both on the tile and the trim. And then we apply our metal trim. It's been cut to size already. We used a metal hacksaw. It does take a little bit of time, but that's okay. Okay, we're at the last stage of tiling. And what we're going to do, we're going to apply sealant to the grout. This one is a spray-on one. It's a little bit more convenient, a little bit more, but it does save on time. Of course, all we need to do is seal the grout. There will be an overlap onto the tiles, which we will have to wipe off once it's actually soaked into the grout. With grout colours, it's probably more practical to use a mid to dark colour on the floor. If you do use a very light coloured grout on the floor, then definitely seal it and apply at least 2 coats. And there we have it, our grouted tiles. Now, I think you would agree it looks absolutely beautiful. If you do have any more questions on how to lay ceramic floor tiles, please don't hesitate to pop along to your local Bunnings warehouse. We're a team member, we're more than happy to help you with your needs.